live. Right, I think we are good to go. Oh, good evening. Welcome. Welcome. Okay. Welcome to the episode. Can you believe you've been for what? Or wait. My math is more than double it, right? While. Anyway, while. And I am just like, I'm loving 8 months live. I have just loving getting together with everyone. Just saw that card. Hi. This. Hey, good. That's what I was. Audio is cutting. Yes. I did. Audio is cutting in. Let me kitten if it can. Volume is a bit muted. Anyone else? Hello, hello. Are we better now? Tech God just swooped into the rescue. Maybe. I jumped. Oh. I jumped. Mucho better. So much better. Okay. All right. So we good to go? Okay, very good. So let's just rewind and start over again. Good evening, YouTube. Still choppy. Oh, no. Hello, hello. Well, last time we put it between my boobs, and everyone said it was good. Still choppy on YouTube. Is it still choppy on YouTube? Test 1 2 3. Test 1 2 3. Hello, hello, YouTube. It's better now. Okay, so here's the thing. Why can these other podcasters and shit have mics like 50? I mean, not that far, but why does it have to be like? Why do I have to be eating the mic? But it's fixed. Okay. Feeling a little resentful of technology right now. Because this is an expensive AF mic. It's not like we got cheap equipment here. You think the mic likes it there? Hello, darling. I'm glad you like it there. Nice and close to mama. All right. Now that we got that. Use blue mic. It's very good. This is This is blue. This is blue. It's about to be black and blue if it doesn't cooperate. But I'm saying, and we have this whole layout. Smooth sailing now. Okay, because I had to threaten it. And now we have this monstrosity in my beautiful background. Everyone, we're just going to be a little fussy for a moment. As I pull up your awesome, awesome questions for tonight, because we've got some good questions coming in. We've got some really juicy ones from YouTube. And then a couple of my patrons just swooped in today with some last minute questions that I thought were so good. We definitely have to add to the agenda today. And we're actually going to start with you, patrons. Those of you who jumped in to the Ask Miss Elle channel. What? Red leather, yellow leather, red leather, yellow. This is how my YouTube recording was, too. I had to do like 50 takes and do my tongue twisters. So anyway, for those of you who wrote into the Ask Miss Elle channel, hello. I'm going to jump to your questions first today. So, YouTube, I'm getting to you. Those of you that I already told, commented back to and talked to today on YouTube that I will definitely answer your question. We will get to your question. But I got to take care of my peeps because my peeps take care of me. Okay? So my community is wonderful and amazing and awesome. And if you would like to join the LX Army, which is my wonderful community, then just go over to patreon.com/LXerotica. We've gotten some amazing... I've never felt so VIP. I have never felt so VIP. That's what I do. That's what I do. I take care of you. Look at me with the tongue twisters and the rhyme time tonight. Ooh, this is going to be interesting. I'm in an interesting headspace. only because you're amazing to us too. Hey, it's called building devotion. It's called being a good leader, and I only hope to grow and continue to be better and serve you all better, lead better, love better as time goes on. So thank you all for being so awesome. And yes, we're going to get to your questions first. So Lena, I believe, was I wrong about Lena? That is? Okay, so hyperventilating. It's fine. It's fine. Don't die. Don't die. We love you, Lena. All right, so Lena, your question made me laugh. Not at you. Not at you. Your question made me laugh. Well, you'll understand why here in a moment. So let me read Lena's question that she sent in today with a straight face. Okay, here we go. Is there a difference in how you handle, and I'm not making fun of you. I just have so many reference points in my head of dealing with submissives in reference to this question that's just where I'm going. It has nothing to do with your question, Lena. This is an excellent question. I'm so glad you asked it. I'm just trying to get my imagination under control. All right, so here we go. Is there a difference in how you handle fun submissive training? I'm thinking position training, basic protocols, versus more challenging and difficult items such as stopping a submissive from interrupting you when you speak, or any other ingrained behavior that they may come with. Anything that may make them feel like they are wrong or deficient in some way. So is there a difference in how you handle fun submissive training versus serious submissive training? My dear, it is all the same, okay? The only difference, and this is why this is the thing, the only difference is they enjoy parts of it more than other parts, okay? So the thing is, when you're talking about, I want to address genuine behavior, we're talking about consensual behavior modification, right? So I think your question speaks to those two categories. It speaks to submissive training and genuine behavior modification. And they can go hand in hand, or they can be separate. It depends on the dynamic. It depends on the structure of the dynamic. So correct me if I'm wrong. Let's start there. That's kind of where I see the initial split in your mind. Am I following you correctly, Lena, at this point? Okay. So for me, absolutely. I'm glad that we understand each other. So for me, if you have a submissive that has come to you, that has decided to yield to you, that has allowed you to modify their behavior, that submissive has to be humble enough to take it. They have to be humble enough to receive that feedback. It can't just be all fun and games, or else they don't actually want behavior modification. They don't actually want you to help them grow as a human being. They want submissive training in the context of play. Really, that's what it is. So for you as the dominant, and you asked this question from a dominant perspective, so I'm going to speak to the dominant perspective. If you have a submissive that has yielded to you, that they do want you to mold them and guide them, and they have submitted to that, then you have to, it's actually very easy if you have a submissive with any sort of humiliation or degradation kinks, because then you could be like, excuse me, stop being a fucking idiot, okay? You are better than this. Learn this. Get it together. And you can be biting with your words. You can be harsh with your words, okay? But notice even in that example, you're better than this. You can be better than this. It isn't a shame point. People don't ever change when they feel ashamed. People just hide their bad behavior better, okay? People write that down, tattoo it, put on your mirror. I don't care. People never change because you yelled at them enough, you made them feel bad about themselves enough, you shamed them, you backed them into a corner enough. No, change, authentic, true change happens when you feel empowered and autonomous to make that decision, and when the lack of change in your life has cost you enough. So circling back, if your submissive wants to change and has yielded to that change, then you have to be willing and ready and able as the dominant to have hard conversations, to call them out, to hold them accountable, and to be consistent about these things. If you do not want them to interrupt you, then every fucking time they interrupt you, they get smacked across the face and they get gagged. And then you have a discussion as to why that is disrespectful and why that is not allowed. You see what I'm saying? You can incorporate the fun elements of submissive training into behavior modification. They can be very interchangeable. But if this is something that your submissive doesn't have a humiliation or degradation fetish, and they're very, very sensitive to feedback, they're very insecure, they're working through their own trauma and attachment styles, things like that, then I would say Oreo your feedback. It just clicked now. What clicked for you, Steph? Share with me what clicked for you. And while Steph shares, let me continue talking to you, Lena. Oreo. Praise, criticism, praise. Okay? So what I mean is, if you have something that you have a very insecure submissive, a submissive that is gets very easily defensive, shuts down very easily with any sort of perceived criticism, things like that, then it's your job to know that about your submissive and to foster that conversation accordingly, where you can confront them. And we'll use your example about the interrupting. You can confront them in a very calm way. You don't have to be coming down on them and but you can be like, we're going to have a conversation. I'd like you to kneel on the floor for me, please. All right, do I have your attention? Okay. Now, as I'm speaking, I'm going to request that you maintain silence. Nod your head if you understand. Very good. Okay. So earlier today, when we were in conversation, you interrupted me while I was in the middle of a very important thought. And this is how it made me feel. This was disrespectful. And this is why I don't allow this behavior. So this is something that we will now begin to train around. It can be that simple. That easy. You tracking? Anyone following me? Wonderful. Tracking. Shy is crying. Shy. Why did I make you cry, child? So again, if you have submissive that is very into degradation and humiliation, then you don't have to be that gentle, that soft about it. You can grab them by their hair in any way, shape, or form and be like, excuse me, beta. What the fuck? Do you think that's actually your place? Oh, you think that what you have to say is more important than what I have to say? Oh, really now? Really? Are you that really fucking pathetic? Like, you see, you can totally shift it depending on the type of submissive that you have. So, I'd say that's the first step, is delineate what is submissive training and then what is actual behavior modification. Have they truly consented to it? And if they did, then you can reinforce that. Excuse me, you said I could do this. You asked me to do this. You allowed me to do this. You gave me your consent. I have not violated your boundaries, so guess what? You need to stop whining and crying. And you need to be humble enough to accept my authority here. It's as simple as that. Love the examples of different dominant styles. When you like both ways. Shy's just like, I'm just good all the way around. Seems much easier if the sub has a degradation kink. It requires less mindfulness. And to an INFP, that often equates as easier, yes. I never thought of behavior modification as a separate area that requires consent because it's not a BDSM checklist, but we do have that kind of relationship. Absolutely. Think about it outside of a BDSM context. Think about it, and I can use my own kind of experience here. when I was in abusive dynamics in the past, it was very much, there were very strong elements of behavior modifications, but it was not consensual. And it ripped my soul apart. It was someone wanting to impose their vision of me onto me that I did not consent to. And that takes a toll on the psyche. When someone is constantly wearing you down and breaking you down and saying, oh, no, you as you are not good enough. You need to look like this. That's why it has to be consensual. And the submissive ideally should come to the dominant. Now, dominance, you will often see things maybe be more panned out than your submissive. So it's okay if you bring something to your submissive and go, hey, we got to talk about this. Because what you're doing is causing major issues in our dynamic, and I love you too much, I love me too much, and I love this dynamic too much to allow this to continue. Okay? So you can absolutely address things with your submissive, but ideally the submissive would be the one coming to the dominant going, I need your help. I've been facing these things for so many years, and I'm just stuck in the same cycle. Can you help me? I want your help here. I want to be better here. That is the ideal situation. Passionate by this, I'm almost changing my thesis on single friends to use BDSM and change behavior. Oh my goodness, Steph, do it. I mean, do whatever you want, but I would be in full support. I think that's wonderful. I think that's wonderful. Oh, it is okay, Lena. You know what? I have so much passion to help people see the things that if I had seen, I would never have allowed in my life. I would never have allowed the toxicity into my life. And so that's why I now have this huge passion. And why my mama bear claws come out is I want to protect as many of you wonderful, beautiful souls as possible. Easier as degradation. Okay, so might sound easier as degradation, as human beings often fall back on aggressive side. That's kind of where I'm at too, is you don't have to watch your words as often. You can kind of be loose. Yeah, absolutely. I'm with you. Bio, yes. It would be nice if someone was like, go to the chat. Exactly. But what would motivate one would completely crush another. So mindfulness is absolutely key here. Oh, I lack on it so bad. Well then, Steph, if you're feeling stirred up by it, I would encourage you to do so. I also want to welcome Butterfly. Hello, Butterfly. I'm so glad you're here. We've got Jeff. Who else? We've got Sweet Tea. Hello. So glad you all are here. All right, so Lena, did I fully answer your question? You're honored. Wonderful. I don't want to move on. So helpful. Good. Of the thesis, I will take credit at your thanks page on your thesis. Absolutely. It would be an honor. But Steph, I would encourage you, whatever you're getting stirred up about, and this extends beyond Steph. Each and every one of you, I firmly believe, were created with purpose and for purpose. No one can do what you do, how you do it. You are so unique. And because you are so unique, you are so valuable. You matter. Your life matters. You have value. You have worth. All right? So if you start to feel a passion about something, especially something that makes you righteously angry, where you're like, this should not fly, this should not continue, not on my watch, then move with that. Because you were not here just to play video games and die. Okay? You were not here to just be depressed and anxious and miserable and then just die. Your life has such value, and you have so much power to you, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. So much power. Not you crying. That's okay. So Steph, use that power that you have. Use that power, use that purpose that you have. And if you're feeling stirred up and passionate about something, go with it. I just want to encourage you. Go with it. So anyway, All of you are wonderful and amazing. That should be the takeaway. All right, go kick ass. Not now. Stay here and talk to me, and then we'll go out in the world and kick ass together. All right, at red light. Okay, good. As long as you're being safe. As long as you are being safe, butterfly. Aggressively stays put. All right. You have new combat boots ready to kick some asses. Yes. I love that. Right. These boots are made for walking. And in Steph's case, kicking serious ass. All right. Here we go. Next one. Now, she is not here yet, and I don't know if she is going to be. So I'm going to hold off on Sega's question, and then we're going to bounce back to it because she often comes in later. She often just twirls in later. All right. So I'm going to table Sega's. She twirls in. She dances in. Yes, absolutely. She boogies in. However you'd like to phrase it. Absolutely. So, oh my goodness. Okay, this question I read on YouTube today, and it just, talk about my mama bear heart. This just broke my mama bear heart. And so I felt such a pull to talk to this woman who wrote this, because if you are watching this, oh, I've got some things to say to your submissive, so you might just want to plop them down in front of the TV and move out of the way. Because, okay, I got some insight onto this one. And here's what she wrote. Oh boy. Here's what she wrote. My submissive wants me to be dominant all the time. Unfortunately, I'm still in my human flesh. It's impossible for me to not be emotional. Sometimes I just want to feel my lover's support. So, before I go on my small tirade to the wonderful, beautiful, I know, it's very heartbreaking, Shy. So to the wonderful, beautiful human being that wrote this question, I just want you to know that you are so loved, and that your submissive is under a very, very wrong and very selfish misperception. Okay. Here is... It's about to get wild. Oh, so here's the thing. The first point that I want to make is this. Actually, the point before the point I want to make is the woman who wrote this, please go watch my video, The 5 Staggering Secrets of Female Domination. Is that what it's called? Is that what I titled the video? 5 Staggering Secrets of Female Domination. Go watch that video. I posted it a few weeks ago. Go watch that video because I believe that video is amazing. Thank you. I believe that a lot of, about 90% of the content in that video, I believe just intuitively will speak to your situation. So I don't want to regurgitate everything that was covered in that video, but the first point I want to make is dominance isn't emotionless. Being dominant doesn't mean living in a state of being emotionless. So you're saying it's impossible for you to not be emotional. There it is. 5 Staggering Secrets of Female Domination. There it is. So you say, unfortunately, I'm still in my human flesh. And what a word picture. What a word picture. I'm still in my human flesh. Like, I'm still have flesh and blood, and I have a beating heart and warmth to me. I can't be cold and emotionless all the time like my partner wants. My partner wants you to be dominant all the time. And that dominance is being associated with being cold and distant and emotional or emotionless. That's a problem. That's a problem right off the bat. For you to be a dominant, you need to listen to your emotions. Your emotions are there for a reason. You are never controlled by your emotions. But a state of emotionlessness is not authentic dominance. They're not one and the same. Now, you can act very cold and distant if you choose, or to accomplish a certain energy within a scene. But for you to define dominance as being emotionless or not able to be human, that right off the bat is something that piques my interest. Just to imagine not to have the support of the sub, it breaks my heart. When I needed more, mine was there holding my hand, and it helped our connection to get so much more strong. I would feel very weirded out by a dominant who did not have an emotional connection to their dynamic, if not afraid. Yeah. Well, I'm going to do a little series about this. I believe talking about basically how some patterns that I've seen dominants portray, and some patterns that I've seen submissives portray that speak very, very much to this. And so that's the first one. The second thing that stands out to me here is it's instantly my submissive wants me to be dominant all the time. My dear, do you want to be dominant all the time? How dominant do you want to be? How do you want to express your dominance? How often do you wish to express your dominance? What do you want from your submissive to inspire your dominance? What do you need from your submissive to inspire your dominance? It matters not what your submissive wants right now, because it sounds like your submissive is looking at you like nothing but a kink vending machine. There isn't submission, because right now, dominant, you aren't dominant. You are being controlled by your submissive. This is topping from the bottom. This is not a healthy power exchange. You feel backed into a corner. You feel controlled. You feel like you don't have autonomy. You feel like you have to perform, that you can't be real, that you can't be honest, and that you don't have support. You feel isolated. That is wrong. That is wrong. Okay? So here's the thing. What do you want? You are the dominant here. What do you want? Your submissive comes to you and says, I want you to be more dominant all the time. Are you willing to work that hard to free up my time and my energy and my tasks? Are you really? And see, that's the thing. This beta that you have on your hands, then whoever wrote this question, just move out of the way, because I want to talk to your beta right now. Listen the fuck up, okay? The world does not revolve around you, beta, and you have no fucking right to make this precious, powerful, wonderful human being, this wonderful woman, feel less than, because she's not living up on a 24/7 basis to your fantasies. She is not your kink vending machine. She does not exist to serve you. If you are her submissive, you exist to serve her. So cut the bullshit, cut the crap, cut the topping from the bottom, and actually be fucking submissive. Okay? Now, whoever wrote this question, you can come back. Because I want you to really do some work. I really want you to do some work and sit down and think about what would please you as a woman, what would please you as a dominant, and start setting those boundaries. And never watch 50 Shades of Grey again, unless you're watching it with me and my community. Well, I have some wine and rip it to shreds. Then it's hilarious and great fun. But no, do not go solo on that one. No. So, Mr. says, get him. Thank you, mister. I appreciate you. Can I get a dad joke? Just one dad joke? If not, I mean, I know you might not have them right off the cuff, but it would brighten my life to hear a dad joke. Anyone got a dad joke? Anyone got a pun? Is 50 Shades of Grey a horror movie? No, it's an uproarious comedy. Seriously. It's one of my favorite things to watch when I'm drunk. And I just don't give a fuck. And I just let my mouth go. It's great. Fantastic. It's a good time. You cannot ask for dad jokes. Dad jokes come to you. Well, see, if that's the rule, that sucks. Okay? Because I thought you should be able to come to your dad. To your dad, your father, your daddy, your poppy, whatever. Oh, man. Yep, sorry. That's not good parenting. Excuse me. That is not good parenting. See, I wouldn't know. Poppy. See, I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know. I have not had my dad in my life since I was a young child. So yeah, I don't know the rules. Don't penalize me for not knowing the rules. Let's see. What did the ocean say to the beach? Nothing, it just waved. Okay. See? That's all that I needed. That's all that I needed. Now everything is right in the world again. All right. Maybe because I don't feel like a dad here. That's what I said. That's why I said daddy, poppy, whatever category. You quantify yourself. What are those? Your dad? There's Deacon. There's no joke. Oh, Natalia, I'm so sorry. It's I'm afraid for the calendar its days are numbered. All right. Steph and Mr. You get my extra love and devotion tonight. That was wonderful. Rabbit trail. Yes, this is light rabbit trail. You know what? I'm hosting. I can get on all the rabbit trails I want. If you don't want rabbit trails, host your own show. Order. I need this on a shelf because it's always so tricky to get it around the mic. All right, it is rabbit season. It is rabbit season. Okay, is Sega's here. So you know what? I'm gonna start talking. Sega, follow the sound of my voice. I'm speaking to your intuition, Sega. Come on in, come on over. I'm about to answer your question. Let's see if she actually gets on over here. ASMR answer. It has to be a nice, calm question for me to give you a nice, calm answer. Sega running. You all are tagging her. I wanted to do a test. I wanted to do an intuitive test. Now I can't trust the results. Sega, she joined not because of any tags. No tags. She came in here because she heard me intuitively. Sega, did you hear me intuitively? Sega, just say yes. Sega, say yes, Miss Elle, I heard your voice. You don't need to know anything else, baby. Just say that, and everything is going to be right in the world. I can't hear. Hold on. Fellow? Mister, can you spank the fuck out of her, please? Don't fall for the trap. Say yes. Say yes. Say yes. Fellow, you didn't take my side. I get to take Mister's side and order spankings. Do I not? Fellow aggressively backtracking. Be right back. The spankings have begun. Sega, just say yes, Miss Elle. I heard your voice. YouTube, this is the shenanigans that you can expect. Well, no. Yes. Yes. She heard my voice and came running. So Sega, don't go for the light because I miss you. Aww, I miss you too. So here's the thing, Sega. Here's what's really going on. So I have been waiting to I've been waiting to answer your question for you to show up because I know that you usually come in toward the end. You come dancing in toward the middle or toward the end. And so I wanted to... Are you aggressively glaring at me? I can aggressively glare back, child. Who are we aggressively glaring at? I will totally be on your glaring team. No, I'll glare with you. Sega, you want to glare with us? Everyone glare at Julian on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Yes! Ladies, well done. Ladies and gentlemen, you feel so supported. Oh, well done. Well done, everyone. It wasn't even the fun kind of spankies. It was for me. And your mister, I'm about 99.9% sure. Glaring while driving. Multitasking glaring. Okay. Oh my goodness. We have gotten on a rabbit trail. So, like a lot of rabbit trails. Where were we? Someone pull me back for goodness sake. I'm going to have to go back through. Okay, Sega. Yeah. Okay, so Sega. All that was happening. But you guys get me back on track after I talk to Sega here. Okay, so Sega. You were summoned. No. So I waited and then I was like, Sega, come in. And then everyone started tagging you, which threw off my whole intuitive experiment to talk to you, mind to mind. And then you showed up anyway, so I really wanted you to validate that you heard me intuitively and that you just felt summoned, pulled over, and it wasn't actually the tag. Which is why Fellow just got spanking, and we're full circle. We all good now? Okay, YouTube. Hello, are you buckled up for the ride here? So, oh my goodness. Okay, so did we fully answer our first question here? You felt it? She felt it, everyone. She felt it. Can we move on to Sega's question? She felt the energy. We can move on to Sega's question. Okay, Sega's question is... Pull it up. Here we go. All right, Sega's question is, what are some ways dominants can deal with insecurities without letting it invalidate their dominance or trigger imposter syndrome? You had no idea this would be answered tonight? Nice. Well, like I said at the beginning, you all support me. I support you. You absolutely get added to the top of the content list. My goodness gracious. I just love my community so much, and I love all of you who are on my YouTube community. Thank you so much for all of your support. By the way, we just hit our first mile marker, 25,000. We have 25,000 party coming soon. 25,000 party essentially means I'm getting a bottle of Dom Perignon and going to my favorite steakhouse and maybe a hotel downtown where Mr. B will not be heard from for a few days. So anyway, you know. What is imposter syndrome? Great! Question, Rascal. Rascal's like, I really actually would like to know this answer. Poor Mr. B. Poor Mr. B. Wow. Taking his side, are we? Poor Mr. B. He just has to be ravished by his woman. Okay. Poor Mr. B indeed. Darn. Sucks to be him. All right. Oh, look at Steph. Just jumping in before I even had the chance. Imposter syndrome, also known as imposter phenomenon. Blah, blah, blah. psychological pattern in which an individual doubts their skills, talents, or accomplishments and has persistent internalized fear of being exposed as a fraud. Yes. So, pretty common. Said you wanted that answer to? No, Steph, this is fantastic. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I could not have said it more concisely. Thank you for jumping in while I was still on my tirade. I love and appreciate you. So, the question here is, what are some ways, now that we know what imposter syndrome is, thank you, especially thank you for typing that out so that people can actually go back and scroll through on the live. So, Sega asked, what are some ways dominants can deal with insecurities without letting it invalidate their dominance or trigger imposter syndrome? It's actually got to be. Here's the thing. What are some ways dominants can deal with insecurities without letting it invalidate their dominance or trigger imposter syndrome? You can't. You can't. You cannot be a codependent leader and you cannot be an insecure dominant. It cannot happen. It cannot exist. You cannot. Your insecurity will kill your dominance. Your codependency will kill your leadership. And by the way, leadership and dominance, same thing. All that is, dominance just has a kinky aspect to it. Okay? So you cannot be a codependent leader. The codependency cancels out leadership, and you cannot be an insecure dominant. The insecurity cancels out the dominance. So the real question is, how do you become secure as a dominant? Because you need to deal with this hard and fast. Because if you don't deal with this hard and fast, you will spiral. You will spiral out of control. So can you do it without it letting it affect or invalidate? No. That's why it's so important to deal with it as soon as possible. So, you've been feeling it? You've been feeling it? Well, I think a lot of times when you're with your new job, well, here's the thing. You're new at what you're doing. It's a baby business. That's okay. Don't try to act like someone who's been doing it 20 years. Because that's inauthentic. But be the best at where you currently are with what you're currently doing. Don't look at this as, I have to be this. I have to know everything. I have to be perfect. No. Be excellent at what you do know right here, right now. And then you're going to grow. You're going to gain more knowledge. You're going to gain more skills. You're going to hone those. You're going to be excellent at those. You're going to grow more. You're going to learn more. You're going to hone those skills. And you're going to be excellent at that. That's life. That's life. Everyone has to process that and go through that. Maybe not chronically, like an actual thing that we need like psychological help for. But yeah, that thought of, do I really know enough? Am I prepared enough? Whatever. We can conquer that little insecurity at the thought level, even before, at a subconscious level, when we can identify it. And it doesn't have to spiral into something bigger like imposter syndrome. Feeling it being self-assured. I think the thing is, Sega, because we talked about this before, and I'm getting a little intuition come up. You're second guessing yourself because you're allowing doors of comparison to come in. Could that be it? Could that be it? And you're looking at, I can see that, and you're looking at, I'm doing good, but they're doing more. I'm doing good, but them. Me, but them. Me, but them. My project, but their project. My business, but their business. Fries and vegan. So you need to shut that down. You need to shut that down. Because it's that's getting in. And so that's the thing. Comparison is a confidence killer. Comparison is a confidence killer. Okay? So when you start to chronically compare what you're doing, what kind of business you have, what kind of relationship you have, what kind of dominant you are, what type of money you have in your bank account, whatever. When you start looking at what I have and then looking at someone else for another reference point, if what you're doing is enough, that's really the issue here. It's I'm not enough. That's the narrative. I'm not enough. I'm not enough. And you're allowing these things. That's part of it. I don't feel worthy. I'm not enough. And so that's part of this narrative that you're feeding. You have to be very mindful about shutting it down at the thought level. When you start feeling unworthy, when you start feeling not good enough, take note of what's happening in your body. Take note of what sensations are going on in your body. Stop and go, okay, I'm feeling this in my body, and this usually means I'm feeling anxious or scared or overwhelmed, whatever, and then dig into it. Dig into it. Okay, so my heart rate's up and my chest feels really tight. Okay, so this usually happens when I'm feeling anxious. Okay, what am I feeling anxious about? Okay, so I just had this conversation with this person, and they also have their own business. And oh my gosh, I just realized that after that conversation, I'm now feeling threatened and like I'm not good enough, or what I bring to the table isn't good enough because I'm not doing what they're doing or how they're doing it. So do you see what I'm saying? You're feeling something, you're reacting in some way, but you're not actually stopping and looking at, with my new boss yesterday. Ding, ding, ding. There it is. There it is. So that's what I'm saying. You have to stop and go, okay, and then when we're going through this, why am I feeling this way? What possibly triggered it? And then what am I associating to that thought that's creating a feeling? Okay. So thoughts with the meaning that we attach to it, the story that we attach to it, can create feelings. So dig into that. If you were thinking all of those things and feeling all those things, okay, what's the big fear here? What's the root here? Is it that I won't be able to do this job, and then I'm going to have to go back doing something that I don't really want to do? Something like that. Dig into that. What is the root? What is the fear that is driving those thoughts, driving the narrative that you have with those thoughts, and that are creating those emotions? We just have to slow it down. But I think that's the big thing, is we don't slow down enough. We're always on our phones and logged in and clicked in and scrolling, and it's killing our brains. And that's why, just as my own personal boundary and as a form of leadership over all of you in my community, that's why you don't get to demand my time. That's why if I don't check in to Discord for 2 days, great. No one gets my time on demand. But social media has kind of created that narrative that we have to be constantly available to everyone all the time. And if we're not, something's wrong. And that's not true. Take time away. Slow the fuck down. If you're waking up and instantly grabbing your phone, something's wrong. Put the phone in the other room. Delete some apps. If you can't go 30 minutes without checking your phone, and grab your coffee. That's good job. So does Mr. B. He's the same way. Zombie walk downstairs. Start the coffee. Zombie walk into the office while the coffee brews. Zombie walk back into the kitchen. It's a process. Blows my mind that even someone had to say it can experience imposter in the badass radio. It's in every message. I'm just saying. Absolutely. Absolutely. But the thing is, imposter syndrome really happens when when we feel like we are in a position that we shouldn't be in. It's really what it is. When we feel inadequate to be in the position that we're in. And so we have to get to the root of that. Why am I feeling inadequate here? And sometimes imposter syndrome is telling us you do need to do some research. You do need to get some more education. And so sometimes it's a mile marker for, hey, you do need to learn. You do need to grow. Okay? But on a chronic basis, when you're constantly second guessing everything that you do, it's a completely different scenario. Miss Hell bobblehead to the first. Oh my goodness. That's a cute idea. My bobblehead would tell Mr. to hurt you. It's okay. Except for... Well, Sega, this is new. This is new for you. And Sega, I know something about you is when you have experience in something, that's when you feel safe and confident. Is when you can experience it and kind of predict how to go about it. That's what makes you feel confident. It's like, okay, I know what to do here. I know what's expected. I got this. Like, it's tried and true. Like, you are really good when you get experience. When it's new, that's everyone is in that boat. And that's okay. You're allowed to go, okay, I don't know everything, so I'm going to keep learning. And that's okay. But this judgment that you're putting on yourself that I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy, why am I this badass bitch in all these other areas of my life, but not this one? No, you still are. That's just your perception. You haven't changed. Sega is still Sega. Period. Sega is still Sega. It's the thoughts, like I just said, that you are having on a subconscious level, and then what you're associating with those thoughts, the meaning that you're giving to those thoughts, they're creating this emotional response. So you need to dig into that. Okay? You don't take your final exam on the first week. Absolutely. Every expert started as a beginner. You are going to learn so much as you grow. You are going to learn so much. And what you're doing right now is not going, it's going to look so different in 5 years, in 10 years. You're just where you are right now. Enjoy where you are right now. More than anything. That's the biggest thing. And I can lean toward being a workaholic. Very heavily lean toward. I'm an Enneagram 8. I just want to dominate and take over the world and get shit done. And Sega, I'm still the one stopping and telling you right now, the most important thing is to just find a sense of stability and peace and find the fun. If you cannot maintain a sense of stability and peace internally, and you cannot continue to find the fun and the passion why you are doing what you're doing, it's going to get too hard and it's going to be too intimidating. It's going to overwhelm you and it's going to overtake you. So you need to get grounded in finding the fun, finding the stability and the peace in of yourself. And start digging into some of these things, digging into these thoughts, noticing them, asking yourself, what is this thought saying? What is it telling me? What am I thinking with it? What story? What narrative? What's causing these emotions? What's the biggest fear at play? All right. So, we good there? And yes, Kitten, I saw your 15-minute warning. I'm going to try to get 1, maybe 2 more questions in before we go. Because I know we had to push it back a few minutes, so I wanted to give you all some little extra time for you giving me a little extra time. A little extra sauce. Yeah. All right, so we got those 2, that one. Okay, so next question. This one came in from YouTube. Is there a way to follow clear communication on expectations and hard limits while also having the element of uncertainty and uneasiness for a sub to keep them on their toes? Love this question. And what I love so much about this question, we love you too, on tiptoes. How do you keep a sub on tiptoe? I know, it's a great question. And I want to drop a little baby bomb on you. Are you ready for this paradigm shifting moment? I hope it will be. Probably shouldn't talk it up so much before I dish it out. Here we go. So what I believe here is, and I'll get into why I'm opening with this. You don't need to be able to predict someone's behavior if you are confident in their character. If you can trust their character, their behavior can be unpredictable. And what I mean is unpredictable as in you can't anticipate it. Okay? I'm not saying that their actions are misaligned with their character. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying you know their character, you trust their character, they have been consistent in their character, consistent in the type of human being they are, consistent in their care for you, consistent in their keeping you safe, consistent in honoring your boundaries. All of these things. If you trust someone's character, you don't need to predict behavior to feel safe. Okay? Okay? So what I think happens a lot of times is we're jumping into things too hard, too fast. And a lot of you submissives, you are, and I'll get into why in YouTube videos and some courses, whatever, but submissives, you are often so fast. Not all, never all, but a lot of submissives, you are often so quick to attach. And you rush to give over your submissive and to give over to your submission, give over your trust. When that person that you're giving these big, intimate things over, they have not had literally the time to prove a consistent character to you. So then what do you look for as a default? I need to predict my dominance behavior, predict my dominance behavior, predict my dominance behavior. Because that's how I feel safe and in control. So a submissive that is constantly looking to predict their dominance behavior in order to feel safe is a submissive that doesn't truly trust their dominance character. Tracking? You tracking? I believe it was from one of the Narnia movies where they're referring to Aslan the lion, which I love Aslan the lion. And they said, there was this line that said, he isn't safe, but he's good. He isn't safe, but he's good. And that to me speaks exactly to this question. A dominant may seem unsafe in terms of the fact that you cannot predict what they're about to do next. But if you trust their character and you trust that they're good, then you don't have to predict to be safe. You're safe in the knowledge of their character. And the rest you have to release. The rest you have to release. Because if you don't release it, you are in control. You are trying to maintain control. And you're often trying to maintain control from a self-protective place. And if you feel that you need to protect yourself from your dominant, you do not trust them. Simple as that. So, circling back around to the question, is there a way to follow clear communication on expectations and hard limits while also having the element of uncertainty? Absolutely. Don't tell your submissive how you're going to punish them. Set boundaries. Set limits. Okay? You have your expectations for their behavior, for their training, whatever. And they know that there will be a consequence if they don't follow through. Do they know what that consequence is going to be? No. Is that consequence going to vary per context every time so that it does not become rote and predictable? Yes. Will the punishment or consequence fit the infraction or the crime? Yes. Will the punishment be organic to the situation every time? Yes, it should be. So, yeah, creative consequences. You shouldn't just go into your dynamic going, okay, submissive. Now, every time you interrupt me, you are going to get exactly 10 swats with the flogger. Like, that's something that Christian Grey would do. Okay? Do not follow in Christian Grey's footsteps. So, you know the scene I was talking about. It was the most intense thing ever. God. Anyway, do you guys watch that movie and Anna losing her fucking mind over like 5 of the most nothing swats you've ever seen in your life? Like, Anna, look at my submissive's backside when I'm done with her, okay? And then get back to me, child. Anyway, so there is evidence. So that's my point, is like, if you are a dominant of good character, don't feel like you have to tell your submissive every little thing that you're planning or that you want to do or want to try with them or want to lead them through, or every punishment or consequence you're thinking of. Don't. Keep it close to the chest. They don't need to know all of that. That's not their place. Part of the beauty of submission, a huge allure, is to let all that shit go. We don't have to think. We don't have to plan. We don't have to predict. We just receive and respond, and we move in the energy that is presented to us. Submission should be no thinking. It should be an escape from having to manage. Let me think less. Absolutely. Absolutely. Building on something you said earlier, it seems likely that there will be areas where the dom is still growing and the sub is the expert. How does that work? I believe in some dynamics that can be the case, not in all dynamics, and I don't think that is something that has to happen every time. That doesn't have to be the consistent outcome. But if that is the case, a very married man, where the dom is still growing and the sub is the expert, it's similar to a conversation that we had in a live recently, where you take back that territory, dominant. Okay? Yeah, you might be less experienced or have less knowledge in a certain area. Yeah, thank you, Bio. Than your submissive. But you take that territory back. And here's the thing. I think what you're speaking to here is the mentality that a submissive gets when they know what they know and they know what their dominant doesn't know. It can be this kind of sneaky, oh, I can teach them topping from the bottom, and I can kind of train my dominant to be the kind of dominant that I want them to be. It's a very sneaky little motive sometimes. So I think that often sneaks in. And I think that's more of the question here, is if the sub has more knowledge and experience, but is patient and humble and yielded to the dominant's pace, then your question is irrelevant. But that's why you're asking the question, is in most cases, the submissive isn't patient enough and humble enough to not try to train their dominant. So I think at that point, the submissive needs to be aware. Yes, you can know what you know and you can know what your dominant does not know, but you also need to know your place. Just because your dominant may have less experience or knowledge in some areas than you, are they still your dominant? Do you still wish to be their submissive? Then act like it. And you do not correct them. You do not try to train them or test them. You are patient. You know your place. And if they want your feedback, they will fucking ask you for it. But until that time comes, know your place. Yeah? Know what you know. know what your dominant doesn't know, but know your place. That's what I would say. If the dom is secure, still the dom. That's the thing. That's what I was just saying. An insecure dominant cannot exist. Just like a codependent leader cannot exist. Well, I answered absolutely. So yeah, you can absolutely get feedback, but it's all about the dominant determining when and how that takes place. And I don't think there's anything wrong with a submissive and a dominant learning together, exploring together, growing together. I don't think there's anything wrong with I learn from you, you learn from me. That's a good thing. But the submissive needs to know their place at all times. So dominants take up that space, take up that territory. All right. So, that her sub has a skill. Absolutely. I mean, from a dominant perspective, for me, like, if that's a skill that my submissive has coming into my dynamic that I was going to have to train anyway, oh, yes, great. There might be a couple little tweaks that I have to make, whatever, but if they already have some sort of baseline, it can make training really streamlined. So I don't think it's a negative situation at all. And I actually run into it a lot where submissives have experience and have the knowledge and they are approaching their partner going, I want to submit to you. Can you learn how? So that is common. That is common. Okay. What time is it? Kitten, do I have a time here? Oh, okay. Based on 8:08. Okay, we'll do one more. One more. All right. Bio, you're so sweet. Thank you. All right. EST Club. All right. I love you, butterfly. Okay. So, where is Shy? Now, if Shy is not here and not willing to participate, I cannot answer this question. All right. I'll see what you did, butterfly. You got Julian going again. All right. No, Shy's here. Shy's here. Shy, I'm looking at you because I do not have... How many children do you have? 27? 27 children? I don't have 27 children like Shy does. Was it 27 or 63? I can't remember. I can never remember how many children Shy has. But anyway, the question that came in from YouTube, 40. 40. Damn it. Get it wrong every time. I love her kid. All right. I just don't... Did her kids love you? It doesn't sound like it. Sounds like you have the same effect on children that I do. Absolutely terrifying them. All right. Truth. Yes. Okay. So our final question that came in from YouTube that I'm relying heavily on Shy for because she does this on a daily basis is I'm new to the DS game. My girlfriend wants a DS relationship, but she has kids. She wants to do age play, edge play, rigging, etc. How do we manage our relationship while remaining under the radar? And Shy, go. So, well, Shy types and shares her wisdom because she has lots of children and has a thriving DS dynamic. Under the radar, I think really you're going to have to just prioritize your time and be very mindful about when you can be under the radar and when you need to lock the door. So no red lights announcing things. But one of the things that I thought of, like right off the top of my head, is he said she wants to do like age play stuff. Like if you have kids, soundproof your room in there. It's like if you have kids and like they're coloring and stuff like that, like Would that not be a way for you to like start slightly getting into that headspace? Is like maybe you get down on the floor and you start coloring too, and the kids go to bed, and you know, like, I'm not a parent, so that's why I am hiring this answer out. But I feel like there could be a lot of sneaky ways, especially if the kids are young, a lot of sneaky ways to start little tiny infusions of things. I also think, like we talked about this a few months ago in a video, little sneaky ways, like really under the radar rituals and acts of service. Okay, so Shai's going there. Acts of service, like taking off your partner's shoes when they get home from work, and doing a certain ritual around maybe dinner or the time dinner is served, things like that. Build a hidden dungeon behind a bookcase in the basement. I'm all for it, absolutely. And spending time together in the evening is very important to us. And so, yeah, like I said, prioritizing and carving out that time. That this is when parenting space ends. This is when fun DS time begins. Other floor. You're still wonderful parents. Love that. Showing the kids a healthy relationship. And see, here's the thing. You can keep the inappropriate things under the radar. But the things that are just DS engagement, I'm kind of with Shy on that one. And again, I do not have kids, but the mom has spoken. And that to me would be like, I would want my family, my children, to see a great, strong, intimate connection between me and my partner. I would want them to see great, awesome communication, and that communication happen consistently. I would want them to see fun and playfulness and laughter and all of those things. Don't have a hidden dungeon in my house. Am I really even living? Like, ask your mother. You already keep vanilla sex behind closed doors? Absolutely. I love that point. That's exactly what I'm saying. You already keep the private stuff private. The stuff that is relational stuff, I don't see a problem with that being seen a little bit. It doesn't have to be this hush-hush thing. Rope bondage and sensory deprivation in the kitchens. No minors in kink. Neat. Or my parents, you should just tell me it's 8 p.m., go to your room, and don't answer back. Absolutely. My aunt, who is the greatest human being I know, and the greatest mother that I have ever encountered. Sorry, Shy, you're a close second. But damn, this woman. And she and her husband did the same thing. There was a time, like, they had a routine, and I'm trying to think about, like, everything that she has told me about how she and her husband should do things. But they had a routine where the kids had, go to school, and they would come home, and they would do their homework, but they also had certain chores that they would take time off of her plate and her husband's plate. So the kids would be tasked with chores, and they had to be in their room at, let's say, 8 p.m. They didn't have to go to sleep until 10. But it was, you do not come out of this room unless someone is on fire kind of thing. So, bedtime, go to sleep, or is asthma, that was your, yeah, exactly. And so I think that's very, very important, is to segregate that time, is to segregate that and go, you know what, these are boundaries for me and my partner to foster this dynamic that we want so much. And it does require, intimacy is always intentional. Intimacy is always, always intentional. That reminds me that you almost put your room on fire once as a kid just to get out of the room. My goodness. Depends on their age. Nightmares are the hard for the youngest. No, you wanted a bonfire. Wow. In your room. You're one to keep an eye on. All right. Pyro in the chat. And it's closed doors. You guys have 2 hours together every night. We treasure it. Sex should not necessarily time to be individuals, to be partners. Absolutely. And can I just say, even if you don't have kids, prioritize time with your partner without your phones. Quality time is not binge watching Netflix when you don't communicate and just sit next to each other for hours. That's not quality time. That's escaping. You're not connecting with anyone, even yourself. Okay? So even if you don't have kids, prioritize time. Prioritize connection. Prioritize being present with yourself and with your partner. It will make the greatest, greatest difference. I've already watched Squid Games and I didn't even hold his hand. So, sorry, Julian. I can tell you how it ends, though. It was intense. Not Squid Games. It was intense. I thoroughly enjoyed it. But then I also got some really creepy, panned out insight that not good. But yeah, it was a mind fuck. It was good. I enjoyed it. So, anyone else? Wait, what insight? Oh, we do not have 2 hours more to talk. But I will say, Lena, that I actually am in like the final stages of producing my first course that I'm going to have. I'm going to start the LX Academy, and we're going to have all kinds of courses. And I am going to get into some deeper topics, not just BDSM specific, but cultural topics that affect BDSM, vice versa. So yeah, there are going to be some courses that we dig into some of that too. So take my money away. So it's coming out soon. My very, very first course, Looking at You, Sega, is all about dominant confidence. Take your whole credit card on mail. So it's going to be a deep dive. It's going to be really, really good. So yes, I'm really excited. My goal is to give you as many courses as possible that speak specifically to the topics that come up so often in my coaching sessions that we just can't really dig into in the same way on YouTube. So it's going to be good. It's going to be good. I hope all of you can attend. So Honor of a Good Daddy also works for us because I would refer to him that way anyway. Told the kids that is his special nickname for you. I think explaining things. Oh, very sweet. Yeah. Yeah, see, I love what Shai is saying. Like, you don't have to explain things to your kids in an adult way. I don't really know how to do that, Shai. That's why I work with adults, consenting adults. Like, why does daddy call me kitten? Well, sweetie, because sometimes when 2 adults love each other, like, I would not be good with that conversation. He puts kitten ears and a kitten tail on her and walks her around on a leash. Fine. And you will learn all about it in a few years. How old are they? In 11 years, you will learn all about them. Done with meows only. See? This is why I'm not a parent. I'm not a parent. Can't do it. Can't do it. Your mommy and daddy got their own flavor of fun. That's none of your business. I wouldn't even know. It's not that bad. It's not a bad strategy. I don't think Jillian is wrong at all. I think that's a great strategy. It's not that bad. Miss Elle's kitten, butterfly. Parenting is not that bad. I don't have any experience personally to convince me otherwise. So I'm just going, there's something that Mama Bear does not know. Oh yeah, anything parenting related? No. I have to work with consenting adults. Over 18, non-disclosure agreement. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I meant a proper contract and written consent. If you can coach, you can parent. No. No. Nope. You haven't been a part of my coaching sessions. BDSM parenting. No. Oh my goodness. Well, gosh, poor YouTube. Poor YouTube is like, what are these crazy people doing? This is grown folks' business. See yourself out. That's great, Julian. I might just take that one and use it. You can raise a dog. You can raise a child. No, because my dog adores me and constantly wants to please me. And if I look at him the wrong way, he pees himself. He gets so scared. I don't think those are the same set of goals you want for your human child, personally. I think you end up like Leonard from The Big Bang Theory, if that's the case. I'm just saying, that is what I require. Where is Sheldon? Where is Mr. Jamie Kids? Would we like a Jamie moment? Where is the kiddo? Oh, he's taking a nap. Do you really want to see him that bad where I have to wake up the sleeping baby from a nap? Don't wake him up. Yes. Best Snuggle was ever a great example of admitting you don't know something without any hint of confidence issues. So solid. Absolutely. I'm not going to front. I am fucking confident in what I know, and I will admit that you do not want me to give you advice on certain topics, including parenting. You know what? Play your strengths, hire out your weaknesses, or don't have babies. All right, don't wake him up. Best Snuggles ever. Oh, well, okay. Butterfly, I get you. I hear you. All right, Bio, thanks so much for hanging out with us. Any advice on the fly? No, I think that was great, Shy. Was everyone impressed with Shy's advice? I think Shy gave us a great answer. And any other parents, feel free to chime in. Parents and kinky dynamics, feel free to chime in. But I think it was great advice, Shy. Thank you. Thank you, Shy. Yes. If you have any parenting questions, I will just refer you to our resident child development expert in the LX Army. Oh, yes, Shy. We love and appreciate you. So, anyone else? Anyone else have anything else to add before we go this evening, before we wrap it up? You're retired now? Is that what happens when they turn 18? You're like, I'm retired. He's in college. He's fine. Like, I got him this far. Mama needs a break. I feel you. Please, can you tell Mister to let you have gummies? Why do you deserve gummies? That's hilarious, Butterfly. Have you been good enough to have gummies? Enjoy it tonight? Good night. Good, Rascal. I'm so glad you enjoyed it. Love and appreciate you. Are you coming to the party? Are you coming to our Halloween party? And are you going to participate in our costume contest? Did someone say gummies? You got vomited on at work? To me, have all the gummies that you want up to a certain point, because then you will be doing the vomiting. Have a healthy amount of gummies. Sounds like it deserves gummies. Yeah, you deserve it. Have all the gummies you want until you start to feel sick. There you go. Make a costume. You're creative. And I'm giving out prizes. This isn't just I want you to show up in costume for no reason. First place gets I always forget. 50? Am I giving 50? I might do more. I don't know. $50 on Love Honey or Amazon. Second place, $30 on Love Honey or Amazon. And final, third place, $15 on Love Honey or Amazon. One's scary and one is funny. Well, see, I can't tell you what Mr. B will go for. Mr. B will probably go for, I think he went scary last year. I tend to lean toward funny. And Miss Elle's Kitten is a swing vote. I don't know. She'll probably be evaluating it from a technical perspective from all of her theater days. Are you excluding any costumes about the life? I'm not excluding any costumes. Just wear one. Don't show your junk. That's all I care about. Member of the LX Army. Come up with a member. Show up as a member of the L, like as another person. I would advise against that. You do not want to start those kind of fights. Where can you read about it? The party works on my Discord. Very similar to this, where I'm going to be streaming live only to Discord, not to YouTube. And then you show up. We're going to post pictures and videos in probably the Selfies channel, or if I create a channel, whatever. And we're going to play games and do all kinds of fun things. And it's going to be awesome. It's going to be awesome. So, yeah, come join us. Something scary. Are there drinking games? Whenever we don't have to broadcast on YouTube, we can get a little crazy. I mean, I know that we haven't done Sadistic Sims in a month or two, but we might have to bring that back so all the newbies can experience it. When is the party again? Halloween. Halloween night. I think like 7 is when I said we were going to start. 7 Central. On Halloween. Yes. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. So, everyone, put your creative skills to good use. Green Jell-O. You want green Jell-O all of a sudden? You will try to finish your stream before. That was the most random fucking 2 words you could have possibly thrown out at me in an incomplete sentence. She should have green Jell-O. If you are allowed your gummy bears just for the bravery, you should dress as green Jell-O. Do it. Do it. That was a costume suggestion. You know what? Now it is. Be green Jell-O for Halloween. She was going to be, what's her name? Beastie. The blonde. From Maleficent, because I'm going to be Maleficent. Now, I think she needs to dress up as green Jell-O. I want to be Beastie. Well, you should have thought of that before you just threw out green Jell-O at me. Now, I'm expecting a cute little wiggly pile of green Jell-O for Halloween. Beastie eating green Jell-O. Look at you, Shy. Just trying to keep her so happy. Ruin my fun. With whipped cream on top. I'm liking this green Jell-O idea more and more and more. Just anyway, YouTube, we're getting a little silly. We're having some fam time. The point is, we're going to have an awesome Halloween party on Halloween on the 31st, 7 p.m. Central. And we're going to have a costume contest. So come and join the fun. Can you say wardrobe change? Just did. All right. So, anyway, thank you all for hanging out with me and the fam tonight. I love and appreciate you, YouTube. Thank you so much for all of your support. All 25,000 and more of you. My goodness gracious. I love and appreciate y'all so much. Look at that little Southern come out. Oh my goodness. Bite my tongue. I need to say some more tongue twisters before we go. Thank you and good night. Thank you and good night. I love and appreciate you all so much. Hugs, kisses. Good night, everyone. Love you all. Bye, YouTube.